Hello. Hey. Hello, everybody. What's up? It is Sunday, November 17th at 3 p.m. Pacific, 2019. If you're in Australia, like I am, it is Monday morning at 10 a.m. What's up, Jesus Zamora? What's up, Shara? How are you? Yes, I am a Putin puppet. I Lever. How are you? I am in Australia. Walker Mike, what's up? Susan Brown, hello. Yes. No, don't worry, Tony. I'm here. The 3 o'clock. I haven't been calling you from the future, so it actually kind of works out for the Sunday pretty well. If I'm a puppet, yes, I'm a cute sock puppet. No, I'll do whatever Putin tells me to do. How am I finding Australia? Australia has been fantastic. Hello from Stockholm, Sweden. I have not done a video on the Philippines. I don't know much about it, but if there's something for me to know, please send me a video. Victory Jen, what's up? Australia has been fantastic. So Ron and I have now done 3 shows. We did a show yesterday. You remember watching me on Game Show Network? Oh boy, if you watch Cram, if you snooze, you lose. My game show hosting days. So Australia is fantastic. Yes, the water does swirl down in a different direction because we're in the Southern Hemisphere. Sorry for being such a bumbling, nervous fanboy in Melbourne. Oh, no worries, man. Mom said she could never stay 24 hours for a game show. That's funny. So yeah, I just want to say Australia has been fantastic. Ron and I, there's 62 people watching, 15 likes. Please hit the like button. Hello from Daytona Beach. It has been fantastic. So we did a show Thursday in Melbourne, which was great. And it was our first, Ron's first time ever performing in Australia, the first time we've ever done the Progressive Tour. And it was just awesome. I mean, it was really, the Melbourne show was so great, and Melbourne is such a cool city. And then we flew to Adelaide. We had a great turnout in Adelaide. I did an interview, a quick one, with Stephen Hale, the MMT, I guess they're called instructors. We would call him probably a professor in the US, but he's an instructor at Adelaide University. So it was cool. I met him, and there was an Assange group in Adelaide, and there's an interview with Stephen Hale. I haven't posted yet because I was having a hard time. Fucking stupid iPhone now. I make a video and it just goes to the iCloud. I don't want it on the cloud. I want it to just stay on my phone. It's so annoying. So I'll post that interview with Stephen, which is really cool. And then we met for lunch the next day with this other MMT economist, Phil. And then Stephen had some MMT people show up at our show yesterday in Sydney. And then this People for Assange, and they have this cool Free Assange band, if you can see that. Free Assange that they gave me. I'll actually put it on right now. They were so cool. And then I have my action for Assange. So the Assange people have been showing up in all the cities, which has been really cool. We had. It's just amazing. The MMT playlist. So if you're new to figuring out what MMT is, I have an MMT playlist. There's a long form interview with Stephen Hale on my MMT playlist. Please check that out. But yeah, Australia's just been fantastic, you know, and I'm going to go surfing today. Tomorrow we fly to Perth, and then we're in Perth for a couple of days before we have a show. So I got a couple of days off, and I'm just going to surf and have fun. And, you know, I did an interview, not an interview, but I was on Will Anderson, who's my friend, his podcast, Willosophy. So if you're an Aussie, you know who Will is. He's a pretty big name. He's like probably one of the bigger name comics in Australia. And so listen to his podcast, Willosophy. He put out like a little Caitlin Johnstone. She was at our show in Melbourne. I had been to Kentucky, and we did Louisville, and Ron and I are going to come back there. So I don't know. The internet here is not great, and I'm Airbnb. And the Wi-Fi is just okay. So I'm sorry if it keeps. It looks good on my end, but I'm really sorry if that keeps happening. Yeah, everyone says Australia's internet is not great, so I'm trying. I'm sorry if it's buffering in Nevada. It says my connection is unstable. Oh, God. I'm sorry, it's buffering. Victory Jen, what's up, Victory Jen? You are amazing. Thank you so much. You are amazing for supporting the show. Shannon, Sun, Moon, Virgo, shave your knuckles for justice. 74 people watching, 60 likes. What's up, Buttercup? Have an amazing time in Oz. Free Julian Assange. Absolutely, Shannon, Buttercup. Yeah, lecturer. That's what they say with Stephen Hale. Yeah, hit the like button. Funky Tuna. Hey, Graham, Jeremy Corbyn will finally be debating Boris Johnson. Will you be watching the debates? Oh, you know, I'll try to watch that if I can. Let me see if I can watch that, and I will. Has the stream been fixed for everybody? Okay. You know what else? Is it unstable? Donald Trump, huh? Time-space continuum is spotty. Monday talking to Sunday is bound to be sketchy connection. Yes. I am traveling through time. So I've been drinking a lot of tea. I'm not a coffee drinker. I drink the tea here. A little jet laggy, like sleep's a little all over the place, but it's still fun, man. Sam Dean, shave him. Had a great time yelling at you and Ron. Worth it. Yeah, it was great. Everybody. I mean, the telecom companies. That's what they should do, in my opinion. Tony DeMayo, shave him for justice. Capitalism destroys communities. Yeah, it does. It does. I'm the next Doctor Who. That's funny. Dilmati, classy. Yeah, this is what was in the Airbnb. All the Airbnbs have tea for you, which is really nice. The Medicare for All plans are horrible. So it's just really bad. Yeah, capitalism is legalized exploitation. Marcos Roca, thank you for all that you do. Did you hear Warren's centrist? Yeah, we were just talking about Warren's centrist healthcare plan is just brutal. It's just brutal. It's exactly who she is. It's why they try to line her up as oh, she's just like Bernie to give people this alternative to Bernie, but she's not. She's a centrist. She's a corporatist, and her healthcare plan will benefit the. And that's always Kimberly, I'm sorry you lost your selfie with me. That's a bummer. More buffering issues, man. I'm sorry. 92 people watching, 76 likes. Hit the like button. Candidate, and then nope. Then there were Biden, and we saw fallacies of him. Now they're trying Warren. She's not really working, so now it's Pete Buttigieg. Boy, now they're saying he's in charge. He's leading the pack in Iowa. No, he's not. No, he's not. Pete Buttigieg is so. He is a former naval intelligence officer, and he worked for a hedge fund. He is not progressive at all. I did a video on how he has gentrified South Bend, Indiana, the downtown area, and the black neighborhoods. There's literally an interview with a guy who said, "I've never seen the dude." That's a direct quote. Never seen the dude. And so, yeah, he's really. Yeah, he's not progressive in the least, but now they're trying to tell us that he's the guy. And him and Liz are just like note for note in terms of their giving an option. So they're trying to make their Medicare for all at all these things, and you know, Elizabeth Warren couldn't even answer a direct question in the last debate. Have options for people. You know, and Bernie goes, yeah, your taxes will go up, but your overall expenses will come down. So overall, it'll cost less. You know, and they can't answer that question. Keep Ron away from the toaster. Yeah, Ron's staying in a different place. He's staying in a different part of town. It was a little harder, I think, in Sydney to find like 2 bedrooms and stuff like that. So whatever, it's all good. I was like, I really want to stay by the beach. He's like, I want to stay in, so it's all good. And Ron keeps burning Airbnbs down because he doesn't know how to work a toaster. Don't forget to hit the like button. You can help support the show by hitting the super chat icon. A lot of great ways to support the show. You can go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood. And for as little as $5 monthly bonus content, you go to grahamelwood.com. I've got a PayPal button. You can just do one-time donation. You can do one-time donations here. If you are a subscriber, a YouTube member, I think they call it now. It used to be YouTube Red. You get $1, $2 YouTube included. Included once a month. I'm sorry, I got a little jet lag brain. Sam Dean, what's up? Psycho is really an offensive term, mate. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you one of the 1 in 5 CEOs that have been called psychopaths? Are you an offended CEO, Sam? I'm so sorry. I know it's hard to be a billionaire. I know it is, and I'm sorry that we've made it hard on you. Lizette Torres, everybody just needs to ignore the news. Everybody I know loves Bernie. Yeah, it's like when you watch the news, you think Bernie's this old man and he's got just 6 crazy followers and he's a sexist or whatever. And then you go on social media and follow Bernie and see what's happening. And you see him. I just retweeted, there was video footage of him at this like park in it's MSM, Ministry of Propaganda. And they show him giving this speech in East LA, which is East LA is a primarily like, it just shows that the person just hands tens of thousands of people, they're massive. And I retweeted, if the mainstream media, if the corporate media's view of this is Bernie gives speech in front of an empty baseball diamond, because like, that's what they're going to say, is that he just, you know, baseball fans don't support Bernie Sanders. It's just preposterous, you know. And I was, you know, I had dinner last night with a friend of mine in Australia. He's Australian, and he's following a little bit of the politics in the States. And he's just like, can Bernie really win? And I just started explaining it to him, and he goes, wow. He goes, do you campaign for him? I go, no. I go, but indirectly, I sort of do, as I just speak the truth on my show. And he was like, okay, I'm going to give this a little food for thought, because all he's got access to is the media in Australia, the media. in Australia, it's 2. So he's just sort of, that's what they're telling him as well, even though he's in Australia and can't vote. It's just, that's what he's seeing. And I started explaining. He's like, wow, I didn't know this. I didn't know. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. And it was a really cool dinner. I mean, he's a good friend of mine. It was great to see him. But like, that's, you just, when I have those conversations with people, I'm never like mad at them or like, you idiot or anything. I'm like, this is for all of us. When we're talking to our friends and family who are just repeating the liberal, not the liberal media, but the neoliberal corporate, liberal media. Now, is that like some Fox News person? But when they're just repeating the basically corporate media ruling class talking points, never get mad. Never get mad at them. Just explain the facts to them. And they'll start going, really? I just kept saying, look at all these polls. He's beating Trump in head-to-head polls. He's beating Trump in a head-to-head poll on Fox News. Fox News viewers, Fox viewers. Like, he's beating Trump head-to-head in Texas, which is like huge. So just be patient with the more billionaires get therapy to stop hoarding their more. Yes. The lag on your system sucks. I'm so sorry. I wish I had more control over the speed of the internet here. It's there's nothing I can do about it. Like, I'm just at the mercy of the Airbnb internet in a country that people tell me, all these Australians tell me the internet's not great. Sam T, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Isn't it better to have compassion for people suffering from mental illness? Please try not to misunderstand them out of rage. It's totally unfair. Yes, I agree with that. If of course we should have compassion for people suffering from mental illness. But if we're talking about like the the Trumps and the Clintons that have, narcissistic personality disorder, that I'm going to be the people in power that are exhibiting this and that are damaging the world, that I'm going to be a little more critical of, because, I guess to be a psychopath technically isn't mental illness. I don't know. Maybe you're being a wise ass here, Sam, because you typically do that, and I'm fond of it. In general, if this is a serious question, absolutely. But if they are legitimate psychopaths who are committing awful acts, then, we need to get them out of there and lock them up. Having compassion for people is a good thing. But like, I don't know that I could have compassion for hold on, I'm having some tech issues. Yeah. So yes, it is. Okay, 152 people watching, 113 likes. Yes, but when I see like what Jeff Bezos and those people are doing, and they're exhibiting psychopathic behavior, I guess that's where I have a hard time showing compassion for them, because they have no compassion for anybody and they are basically plundering the world. That really bothers me. That's not the same as like somebody battling bipolar, and we should absolutely have compassion for them. But when somebody is just abusing their power that does make me mad because I don't like to see that. Let's say H, maybe he'll start watching your show on Jimmy Dore. Yeah, that's the thing with my friend that, you know, when I come across those people, getting back to that subject, when you start sort of, people are just consuming the corporate media, and you start kind of pointing them, just read this, go over to this website, go watch this video, you know, they start to go, oh, wow. And then they kind of start waking up the way we all did at various times. Jedi Mullet, shave the knuckles for justice. What do you think of Cenk running for Congress? I can't wait for the establishment to throw a hissy fit, V for victory. You know, I heard he was doing that, and I think it was, you know, I don't know really. I've met Cenk, obviously, but I don't know him that well. But I think good for him. I mean, California 24th is a very Republican district. Katie Hill got in there and really basically sort of turned it purple. She's, you know, she's definitely a moderate. That's how she got elected. I'm a moderate Democrat. So Cenk, I'm assuming, is going to run on a pretty left, progressive stance. The thing that's important is, you know, Cenk has this mass to campaign with. You know, he could win it. We were discussing this last night with a fan who was at the show who was like, I don't think Cenk should do that. He should run for Senate because the Senate's more valuable, because, you know, that's where everything gets blocked. The Congress can write this and pass, and Senate, the Congress can pass 1,000 things, and the Senate can just say nope, nope, nope. But I was, you know, in thinking about that and discussing about it, I'm like, yeah, but he has no. A lot of people, what they do is they go to Congress and they get experience. He wants to run against Kamala or you know, Dianne Feinstein. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. But I don't know. I'm you know, Katie Hill having to step down, and so they're having they call it not a runoff election, but anyway, I think ultimately it's a good thing. I do think it's a good thing, you know, because if he actually wins that district, well, now there's a district fractional reserve banking counterfeiting if we did it. Okay. Yeah, honestly, watch the MMT playlists, everybody. All right. California 25th. I thought it was the 24th. Am I wrong? I thought it was the 24th. Let me check that real quick. Let me check that real quick. Let's see. Find that. Let's see. Let me just clarify. Oh, you're right. It's the 25th. I thought it was the 24th. My bad. I blame that one on jet lag. Yeah. And if you want to donate to it, maybe you do, maybe you don't. I don't know. But if you do, here it is. He's running for the California's 25th. You're absolutely correct. A marriage, shave your knuckle for justice. Do Granny Petrol talking to a Bernie supporter. But Greta, Bernie's Green New Deal is paid for by Big Green and the kale lobby. You must understand. But Bernie, there's so much joy in eating coal. Bernie Sanders is a hypocrite who flies around in planes powered by oil. He is supporting oil. Oh, Granny Petrol. Whichever one of you made the Granny Petrol Twitter account, God bless you. When that popped up and said I'm part of the big kale lobby and Ron's in the cat lobby or whatever, it's beautiful. It is beautiful. All right, what other ones we got here? They should. Sage and Fool, shave your knuckles for justice, Sage. Lynette Zhang, she talks about the fraud of the banking system and the collapse that's coming. She has asked for people who lost their homes to reach out and tell their story. I thought of you. Oh, absolutely. Let me look up Lynette Zhang. Oh yeah, man. There's another, obviously I've talked about it a lot. There's another crash coming. I mean, it's pretty insane. There's another one coming. Let's see where she. Let's find Lynette Zhang. Lynette Zhang on Twitter. I'll reach out to her right now. Hello, Lynette. As the data gal, I tweet about the markets, gold and silver. Boom. Strive and thrive. The inevitable collapse, I guess, is her thing. Cool. The dollar vigilante. Haha, wow, right on. All right, I just reached out to her. There we go. There we go. Citizens of Gotham. We're getting it done in real time. Thanks, Agent Fool. I will look into that. Hey, Graham, what do you think of the Australian police? Do you find they are less aggressive? You know, I haven't really had a lot of interactions with them. Just the way they carry themselves, sometimes they seem a little less, but it's hard. I don't know. I haven't had any. I guess I'd be curious to see if I was like at a sporting event or something where they were there, or at like some sort of activist rally thing, to see how they were reacting would be interesting, you know, to see. But it's hard to say. I can't really go one way or the other. 156 viewers, 135 likes. Hit the like button. There's a high percentage of CEOs who are psychopaths because they're for people suffering, and you know, it's like and I'm glad I did the video on it. I think it was even sent to me from a Patreon supporter, and it really is like they're exhibiting like the behavior of a dangerous person. Now, I would love to study that more and find out if there's something in the brain. Like, I remember there was a study of a bunch of death row inmates in the US who were on death row because they had committed awful crimes, right? Tortured, murdered people, just awful stuff. And they found that a high percentage of them had been abused, like physically abused as like children or even infants. When we are encountered by this, or like Epstein, or this is just, you know, doing this awful shit, is their brain, is there a tumor? Like, literally, I'm not being a wise ass. I'm asking that question because if we could find that out, then maybe there's a way to end dangerous psychopathic behavior, you know? So back to the money thing, a crash is par for the course. Chaos gives the powerful an opportunity to consolidate more wealth and power. Yeah, yep. I'm wondering, though, this next one that's going to happen, if this isn't the tipping point for the 99% to sort of rise up. I don't want a crash to happen. It was brutal what happened to me and millions of other people in the last one. I don't want to see some sort of violent revolution in America. I really don't. That's going to be awful. It's going to be awful. But perhaps if that were to happen, or when that happens, if enough Americans just say no and start shutting stuff down and going out in mass protesting like we're seeing in Lebanon and Chile and France and everywhere else, that it could bring about the peaceful non-resistance that Chris Hedges talks about, that we need on the whole, because Americans just haven't woken up by and large. And that next crash, people might just go, enough. Obama didn't fix it. Bush didn't fix it. Trump just helps his rich buddies. And I don't want to listen to any corporate Democrats tell me their solution to this and how great, Liz Warren, how great the free market. I'm so sick of people telling me how the free market is going to fix everything. Really? The free market, the thing that caused all of this wage inequities, homelessness, poverty? That's like, well, the drug dealers, they're going to fix the drug epidemic. The opioid epidemic, and the drug dealers are going to fix that. Oh, boy, I'm feeling the jet lag. I got a decent night's sleep, and I'm still feeling it. Oh, there it is, an insult. Here comes the big B, friend. You don't have to agree with me, but if you start being insulting, isn't Graham a useful idiot? You are gone. Bye-bye, block. Hit the block, suckered. Tony DeMeo, Lee can't mispronounce my name, unlike you. Well, don't be mad at it. Look, Lee, is a guy, a great comedian, and a true progressive. And I don't think you're actually offended, just by guys. You're just being silly. But let me just tell you this: you read so many different names and people from literally all over the planet. And man, I mispronounce shit all the time. So go easy on my buddy Lee. So that's yes, greed is and unbridled greed, unbridled capitalism. All that is the problem for sure. But you add the component that then 1 in 5, which 20% of CEOs are psychopaths. Oof, that's scary to think about. I've talked about this. The ruling class, the 1%ers, a lot of them are evil and crazy and fucking dangerous. I mean, the Epstein thing has shown us that. Now I'm going to talk about that Prince Andrew. Jesus. I just saw a clip of it, Prince Andrew. And this reporter's like, well, you had Jeffrey Epstein at this castle, at this party, on this event. And he's like, yes, but the royal family didn't invite him. It was my friend. But even to be fair, it was Jolene's. He was like a +1. Like, you're seeing that interview so choreographed by the royal family to say, you better distance the family from this. And then distance yourself, saying it's Jolene's friend. So that to me says they might be hanging Ghislaine Maxwell out to dry. She might shoot herself in the head twice and kill herself. Like, we might find her, so she might show up somewhere. While I would love to see her in a prison where the cameras break down and the guards walk away and she hangs herself with paper clothing. What I really want here's the thing. Going back, and I was watching a video of the woman, I forget her name, my only Herald reporter that broke the story, is and I've started to read some of her Miami Herald articles and stuff like that she did prior to this, everything breaking this summer. They were saying upwards of 1,000 names that were in Jeffrey Epstein's black book that were going to get unsealed. Governor Bill Richardson, and Senator Mitchell, and Trump, and Clinton. They needed Epstein dead. right? Because they don't want those 1,000 names getting out. A couple of names getting out there. Killed Epstein. He was not the head of it. He was like middle management, you know. And Ghislaine Maxwell, so if Prince Andrew is distancing himself from Ghislaine Maxwell, she's going to turn up. And then she's going to trip and fall on a machine gun or something. Because if they're threatening to kill her, she might go, well, then I'm going to come forward. And that's their fear. And that's why they wanted to unseal more of these, this like at least 1,000 names I've heard in his black book. And they don't want those 1,000 names getting out, the ruling class. So these powerful people, it's why I did that video on how they shut down, you know, Amy Rohrbach, the ABC reporter said, you know, I had this interview with Virginia Roberts 3 years ago and they killed it. And then ABC, or excuse me, the Disney CEO that has ties to Jeffrey Epstein, Disney owns ABC, they found out who the person was that leaked that. They found out that person was working at CBS. They had left ABC. And now they were trying to get that person fired. So all of this stuff is coming out. The ruling class, the royal family, the Saudi royal family, all the people in power that are really running things, this Epstein thing, they keep wanting it to go away. And it won't. And Chris Andrews' bullshit interview, which I will do a video on. I might not be able to get to it till I'm like in the States because I want to have my screen behind me and I want to show clips, and it's a little harder to do in this setup. But they're shining the light on them and they're scurrying like the cockroach rats that they are. Filthy, psychopathic, pedophile sex traffickers. Not the same as someone that's struggling with mental illness. They're evil, and fuck them. A regular person is suffering with mental illness, we should absolutely show compassion for them. And if I've ever said anything that sounds like I haven't, I apologize. But I will show no fucking mercy for these soulless motherfuckers in the ruling class that need to be rounded up and put down like we did with fucking Hitler and the Nazis. Next question, Keith M., shave your knuckles for justice. Granny says, but Tulsi, stop fretting about foreign wars. Trading blood for lovely oil is a noble American tradition. Big peace is life. Big peace. Yeah, Medea Benjamin and all those Code Pink. They got so much money. Medea Benjamin and her big piece. Oh, fuck. I love that me making fun of that video, myself and then with Ron, has now, you just put big next to any sort of lefty big piece, big kale. Oh, fuck. They coined the term big green, which they're so like, they think, I mean, I guess they've gotten away with it for so long that they think they can just keep doing this. They coined the term big green, like, oh, this will be good. This will really swing it in our favor. But like, we see through you, man. All calling it big green did is now give us all these lovely jokes, like big peas and Balthazar 228's big kale, and just beautiful, beautiful jokes. Thank you, Keith M., for giving me a script for Granny Petrol. 195 watching, 170 likes. Chris Hedges talk about it this week, human experimentation and human torture. If you talk, Chris Hedges says that the Nazis didn't go away or get put down. They were hired to work for the CIA. Check it out. No, you're absolutely right. Well, not only were they hired to work for the CIA, look, the American space, Werner von Braun, who like pioneered rockets in America and the space race with the Soviet Union, those were all Nazis. we hired a lot of Nazis. I mean, we went and got the big ones in charge, but a lot of Nazi scientists and operatives we used for sure. That's absolutely correct. That is absolutely correct. No, back to Jaleel Maxwell. No, she'll fall off the back of a boat like her father. Yeah, the Mossad agent. Tony DeMeo, shave your knuckles for justice. I'm an asset of Big Queer. Oh, God. Fucking great joke. Yeah. Operation Paperclip. Yeah. All talking about the Nazi stuff. OSS imported Nazis. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Operation Paperclip. All of you guys are aware of that. Read Christopher Simpson's blowback. The Red Scare from the 50s was promoted by the Nazis. We bought it over to work for us. They got to McCarthy. Yeah. Assignment number 5, Patreon closed your account. That sucks. We've got a lot of medical Nazis too. The Nazis' research on Jews advanced a lot of U.S. treatments. Oh, thanks, Snook, for telling us that. That's all the stuff we're talking about. Assignment number 5, got to get a PayPal address for Graham's excellent work. Yeah, thanks, man. If you go to GrahamNoah.com, and there's also a P.O. box. Some of you just prefer the off-the-grid way. That's one way to do it. Thanks, Ted. I'm glad you like my laugh. There are interviews with Simpson here on YouTube. Abby Martin interviewed him a couple years back. Okay, good to know. Watch Hedges' interview this week. Critical support for Susie's exposure at the CIA. Oh, thanks for bringing that up. Just at 4:30 Pacific, 7:30 Eastern. We will do. Susie will. Has been doing the last month. Episode 9, Opening the Five Eyes, Deciphering JTRIG, a 1 versus 5 Eye live event. So that'll happen right after mine. If I can make it to 90 minutes, I don't know. I'm excuse me. I'm jet laggy. We'll see how long I can go. The toast also goes down in Australia. Oh yeah. Did I freeze up again? Frame problem again. I'm so sorry. It looks good on my end, but it's hard to say. It just viewers. Ah, man. Is everybody back? Are you back? Yeah. Okay. Well, for those of you watching this and it keeps buffering, I'm sorry. Again, I got no control over the internet here. But it does archive. YouTube records and archives this, so you watch me later. I'm sorry that it's happening because it keeps losing my viewers. I would have 300 or 400 people viewing right now, but we had 200, and now it's so anyway. Stacy Fisk. Hello, Stacy. Shave your knuckles for justice. Hey, Graham, I just recently subscribed to your show. Thank you so much. And by the way, everybody, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. YouTube is unsubscribing people. We're still climbing up. We're almost at 57,000 subscribers. We keep growing. That's to give you an idea how well this channel is doing. They are unsubscribing like hundreds of people a day, and yet I'm still going up. So if they weren't doing that, who knows? I'd have 70, 100,000 viewers or something. But Stacy said, you just recently subscribed to the show, mostly because I wanted to see you crying to war. What is it good for? Keep up the good fight. Oh, thanks, Stacy. Yeah, that was, that's an emotional, I didn't think that was going to happen. You know, Sam Bean asked me to sing karaoke, which is a really cool thing. At the end of the show, And the lyrics to that song are just like, wow, it just brought up a lot of emotion. The stuff I've seen going into war zones as a comedian, I don't know what combat's like. I'll never know what combat's like, but I saw wounded soldiers and Afghani kids, and it's gnarly. It's awful. It's why I'm so anti-war. I'm just a vehemently anti-war progressive. That's what I'm like. That's what I'm about. So thank you, Stacey, for supporting the show. What's up, David Kapoor? Australian vibes are great. Joe Famous, you think Bolivia was CIA? Joe, that's a good point. I'm